In this video, we are going to take a look at my Daniel Defense DD4 V7 SLW, which is a cold hammer forged 14.5 pin and welded 5.56 NATO barrel on a fairly typical Daniel mlock rail and fully ambidextrous lower receiver. I'm going to go over what I switched out to make this better for me and why I think it's one of the best mid-range, moderately priced ARs out of the box. The best way to support the channel is by becoming a member of the kit page, where I provide discount codes and organize all the links to everything I talk about on the channel. That is the first link below. Big thanks to the sponsors, HSL Ammo, who supplies all of the ammo you see me shoot. They have some of, if not the best, bulk ammo pricing available, especially with my code below. I trust them. I love this company. And of course, Optics Planet, thank you so much. Again, I have discount codes for both of them, first link below. Make sure you check below in the description for the full disclosure. Let's jump into the build. Starting with the base, we again have an AR with the most confusing name, like everything from Daniel Defense, the DD4 V7 SLW. So to start, let's break down the name and go over what each part means. The DD4, in comparison to the DDM4, is the inclusion of several premium upgrades. Unlike the older generation, which is the DDM4, the DD4 lineup features fully ambidextrous controls, including the bolt catch and magazine release. You do get an enhanced trigger with the DD4, often a 3-piece enhanced design, compared to the standard mil-spec trigger found in the base DDM4 models. You also in some cases get the next-gen rails. While the DDM4 line uses the MFR rail, the DD4 family often features the more robust RIS-3 rail system. The SLW, however, still uses the MFR rail with the 4-screw design instead of the 6-screw design. I still think it's fantastic though. Basically, if you see DD4, it signifies Daniel Defense's current flagship tier with full ambidextrous capability and high performance components. The V7 is easy, it just means it's the 7th iteration of this rifle series. It also refers to the rail being mlock. For example, the original V1 is the quad rail, the V9 uses the continuous quad rail, and the V11 is key mod. So the V means different things depending on the number after it. Anyway, the SLW stands for super lightweight, achieved with their specific handguard and barrel profile, so altogether you get the latest iteration of their flagship mlock rifle, which we can break down now that we understand what that all means. Starting at the top here, we have a Dead Air Xeno flash hider, and I actually really like these. I've been running Xeno on a couple of my other builds, and the reverse thread with the large taper design is fantastic. Not only that, Dead Air makes a really high quality muzzle device, and overall they are solid. A fantastic choice from Daniel Defense going with this, and luckily it is a good one because it's pin and welded, so if you want to change it, you'll have to drill it out. The can I'm running is also from Dead Air, and I've talked about this one before, but it is the Lazarus 6. Huge fan of this thing. It's one of my favorite cans out right now. On this rifle, I was getting a pretty good amount of back pressure with it. I've noticed Daniel tends to overgas in order to ensure reliability, but if I got an adjustable gas block, this can would be perfect for it. The flash mitigation is amazing, the sound is fantastic, and just a great option overall. I did get a new can from Sig Sauer called the Hexium, and I'm actually going to try it on this build to see how it goes, but I haven't shot it a whole ton yet. So far it's a really cool suppressor, and I'm excited to throw it on a shorter build as well to see how it does. The barrel, like I said before, is a cold hammer forged 1-in-7 twist 14.5 chrome moly vanadium steel. It's heavy phosphate coated and also has a lightweight profile, which they say does save weight without sacrificing durability and accuracy. Huge fan of this barrel. Daniel Defense is very good at making barrels. Fantastic overall. The handguard is made from 6061 T6 aluminum. It's slim, lightweight, and overall fantastic. No complaints at all. Besides, with these thinner, lighter rails, they tend to heat up faster, so it does help to wear a glove or wrap it with something. No major complaints though. This has been fantastic. The BCG is a basic chrome-lined Daniel mil-spec option, which are very well made, and I've never had any issues with them. And the charging handle is a Daniel as well, just mil-spec, but comparable to a Radian Raptor in some ways. No reason to switch it out. It works great. The lower is essentially a full ambi mil-spec design made from 7075 T6 aluminum. Really well done ambi controls. To be honest, huge fan of them, even though I rarely use them. It's really just not how I train. I really only care about having a bolt lock back option without breaking my grip, and this design is overall fantastic. Well made. It's clearly the 7th version, as it does feel like things are dialed in and well done. No complaints really at all with with it besides the furniture it comes with. That's basically it for things that I didn't switch out. Moving on to the upgrades. The camo Cerakote was done by a shop called Culper Precision in Utah. They do all of the Cerakote work you've seen recently on the channel, and it's absolutely incredible. They do more than Cerakote 2, which is sweet. They pretty much do anything, so if you need gunsmithing, Cerakote, or whatever gun related, they can definitely do it. They also do sell their own rifle, which I'm looking forward to getting on the channel because it's sweet. Anyway, check the free kit page on my website for discounts and more on them there. On this rifle, they did an amazing custom Cerakote, including my moth logo, which was laser etched and filled on both sides. It looks incredible. The optic setup is a SIG Tango 6 1:6 DVO model, which I'm a huge fan of this thing. I rated it super high on my LPVO Showdown. It's a great option overall. If I didn't run this, I probably would have run the Night Force Attacker 1:8 that's currently on my X2 setup. This rifle is definitely worthy of a Night Force, but for now I'll stick with my Tango 6. The mount it's sitting on is the Zero Gravity LPVO mount, which is one of my top recommendations for LPVO mounts. These are fantastic. They have a hinged design just like my other favorite from Scalarworks, just well made overall. Then we have a Reptilia red dot mount attached to the Tango 6, and that is holding the Loophole Delta Point Pro with a 100 Concepts kill flash. Huge fan of both the Loophole and the kill flash. Both are fantastic. And yes, I know I have a kill flash on everything except for the light, which doesn't make much sense as it has the highest tendency to reflect light, but I just haven't gotten it yet. I'll of course be running one from 100 Concepts as well, as they make my favorite stuff for that. The light setup I have here is my go-to for high-end builds. It is the Surefire Scout Turbo with the dual switch and unity button. Then the cord is retained with some goon tape wrapping around the vertical foregrip, which is from Samson. Huge fan of these. They come off super easy if you want to remove them, and they are one of the most rigid quick detach options I've seen. Very high quality, very well done. I did switch out their enhanced trigger for a Geisley because they are one of the best triggers out there, and for a duty ready option it made sense for this. I also switched out the safety for a Radiant Talon, which of course is one of my favorites. I did also switch out the grip for a Magpul K2 Plus, which is again another one of my favorite grips out there. I was running a BCM Mod 1, but it was a little too skinny, so I made the switch back to a Magpul. I do like the BCM grips, but the Mod 3 is the way to go as it's a little fatter and it just fits my hand better. The K2 Plus though is my top recommendation. And then the last thing I swapped was the Daniel stock for a B5 SOP mod, which is my favorite stock. It's so comfortable, well made. It is just one of the best in my opinion. The sling I was running is from Blue Force Gear. They are one of my favorites. No issues with them, and that pretty much sums up the build. Moving into why I think the DD4 V7 SLW is an absolutely fantastic rifle setup for the money. You really don't even need to do half of these upgrades in order to love this thing, and most people are going to love this rifle right out of the box because of how well it shoots and how premium the overall quality is, as expected from Daniel Defense. Finding a rifle in the $2,000 range that is this high quality are really few and far in between. They do definitely exist, but Daniel Defense does a really good job at making sure you're getting a premium quality product at the end of the day. The first shots through this thing were super smooth. I've had absolutely zero issues with it so far, and though I'm definitely not over 3,000 rounds through it yet, I am probably coming close to that, but again, so far zero issues at all, which is what I would expect from Daniel. If your goal was to find a decently priced high-end rifle out of the box, this is probably the direction that I would point you in. Overall, big fan. I really don't have a ton more to say about it. I think it's a great rifle. If this is in your price range, I think it's a great option. Of course, getting a high-end rifle means nothing unless you are trained and capable of protecting innocent life with it. Make sure you go to the range and train so you can be more prepared to do good in this world. YouTube has unfortunately been cracking down and either age restricting or just taking down a lot of my videos, which is unfortunate. I feel like they'll leave me alone more as my subscriber count increases, so if you're not subscribed, please consider doing it. It helps the channel a ton. So much more is coming soon. I will see you in the next one.